Hello guys and welcome back to the Carzy world. If you are new here, I am Vinay Margal, who is passionate about helping you select the best car for you. So here we are today reviewing the Honda WRV Facelift 2020, which has been just launched in the month of July. So without any further delay, let's begin with this awesome car. Of the car, this car gets a huge headlamp along with the projector setup LED with the LED fog lamps too, integrated with the LED DRL on the side of the headlamps. The grille gets bigger and along with the chrome strip, which is the signature of the Honda cars nowadays. Talking to a lower side, here it gets a fixed plates like design, which makes it a kind of SUV, or you can say it makes it looks like an XUV. Talking about the car, it overall looks very bulky and attractive, which gives it again an SUV look. And talking about the rivals, it rivals against the Brezza. That's a strong competitor. So let's check it out if this is worth or not. This car is offered in two engine variants, which is 1.5 liter ID.Tech engine and 1.2 liter iVTEC engine. But VTEC never kicks in this car because this is a budget car. And talking about the engine specification, this is a unit which makes 100 PS of power at 3600 RPM in diesel, and it makes 90 PS of power at 6000 RPM in VTEC petrol engine. So talking about the mileage of the car, the petrol claims a mileage of 16.5 kmpl, while the diesel claims a mileage of 23.7 kmpl, which is quite good talking about this segment. And talking side black cladding, which makes it help look like a SUV, but overall it looks like more of a crossover. And the talking part and the most attractive part of this car are the alloy wheels. Alloy wheels are 195:60 are 16 inches, which is quite good for this car, and you get Goodyear tires. The tires are also very good, and you cannot complain much about this car because this car overall looks very good. This car gets some amount of deep cut and creases, which enhances its looks and attracts the youth. This car also gets a huge ORVMs, which are electrically foldable and adjustable from the inside itself. The overall look is good. It gets a blackened B pillar, not the blackened A pillar, but the visibility is not going to be an issue as it gets a window here and a window here, so which is quite big and does not hinder the visibility of the car, which again is quite good and you don't see usually in all the cars. Without any, the side profile is that it gets two disc brakes in the front and two drum brakes at the back, and these roof rails are for sure, these are not functional, and you cannot expect functional roof rails in this price bracket. So this car is not about complaints, it's about how it is, how the comfort is, how the space is. Rear profile of this car, the rear profile looks quite weird to me, to be honest, but looks are subjective choices and it looks kind of appealing too. Now it gets all new LED setup tail lamps, which were halogen in the pre-facelift variant. Now these license plate holder are here, which again look very nice, and the big fat Honda logo, which gives it a brand name, and Honda indeed is. Here you get the iVTEC or the ID.Tech, whichever engine you go for, it gets you the badging, the variant badging. Talking about the below, it gets again a fake skid plates treatment, which you look in the front and makes it appealing and SUV type look. You get a rear wiper along with a defogger and a washer. Without talking about the boot of this car, the boot of this car is quite huge and practical because it gets 363 liter of boot space. The loading lip is not high, the slit is not high. It makes it practical to use for the short people also. Talking about here, you get a spare wheel, which is not a full size, it gets a lower, which you can expect also. So everything is as expected in this car. Front door of the car, the front door gets in hard plastic, but that is of good quality hard plastic. You get some controls for the power window as well as for the ORVMs. Here you get the padding, cloth padding, which helps you feel more comfortable, and here you get a hard plastic, no clothing out there. The bottle holders are quite big, they can accumulate your 1 liter bottle very easily. There is not much to talk. There is a speaker that's it. We can talk about that. That is very good, and you get good amount of under thigh support. You get manual height adjustment for this car, which again gives you a good feel to get an apt position for your driving. And talking about that, you also get telescopic as well as up down steering wheel setup, which makes it again easier to reach for shorter people and as for the taller passengers. For your reference, I am 5'9" or 5'10", you can say. Talking about the car, the steering wheel gets a leather wrap finish along with a cruise control on the right, and media controls for the left. The quality is quite good, though the leather quality could have been improved in this car. You get a cup holder here too for the driver, and which, if you want to cool your beverage, you can always keep it here in front of the AC vent. Here you get the hard plastic all around. There is no complaint regarding it, but the quality of plastic could have been improved. You get an analog speedometer, or the analog instrument cluster, you can say, which is carried from the old Gen 6 car. Also gets a 2.0 digipad along with a touchpad for the AC controls. I am not a big fan of the touchpad AC controls, because now in the next generation or the new generation of the City, you get analogs which are very easy to use while driving. They are not distracting at all. The touch and feedback of the digipad is quite good, and I don't feel any kind of lag, as you can see. But like in the other competitors' cars, you don't get any good company speakers, so that's a point you can consider. But you can also get an aftermarket setup. The glove box isn't cool, but it's quite big to hold some of your booklets or some of the documents. Talking about the power sockets, here you get a power socket, one 12-volt charging socket. You get a USB, you get another USB port. Again, you get a space for for things to hold, like wallet or phone or whatever. But the point to consider is that a plus size phone, which is approximately 7 inches, won't fit in here quite easily. And here you get 2 cup holders, which are quite big and accommodate even your big cups. The gear lever makes me feel like a joystick, which gives a feel of an enthusiasm. Here you get a armrest, which is quite big as compared to the competitors, and gives you a good storage area too. And the point of highlight is you get another charging port within, so there can be no problem of the power while you are in this car. You get a manual handbrake, which is again a very nice touch. The digipad, everything is quite good in this car, along with a sunroof which you get, which is again a very nice touch. And this was the first car to offer a sunroof before anyone could do it. The opening and closing is quite easy, one touch. That's a very nice feature, you can say. Another feature to highlight is that you get mirror for driver as well as for the co-passenger, which you don't see in rivals. You only see it on the co-passenger, but this car gets it on both the sides. The plastic quality is quite good when you compare it to the Brezza, but not. This car gets 2 airbags and ABS EBDI standard, which is again a quite good feature to have in this car, and it is a necessity over than a luxury. The space is quite good, as Honda makes their car, according to what they say, machine minimum, man max. Of the car, there is not much to talk about. It is almost as same as you can see it in the front. One bottle holder and armrest, power control for power windows, silverish garnish, which makes it looks good, and nothing to talk about much. The plastic quality is okayish, hard plastic, but that's not an. Talking about the rear seat of the car, the recline angle is quite good, but the seat cushioning is soft and makes it comfortable for the short journeys. The leg room, the knee room is not an issue. There is ample of space. You can even extend your legs below the front seats, which is again a nice touch. There is ample of headroom in this car. The comfort isn't an issue. But talking about the comfort, you do not get a rear armrest, which is quite disappointing, as you get it even in the budget cars. No rear AC vent has been offered, neither any charging socket has been offered. But if rear passengers want to charge their electrical gadgets, they can always use the power socket in the front armrest, but that is quite weirdly placed. Talking about the consider this car, so you should definitely consider this car, because this is one of the best car in comfort and space you can get in this segment. and the Honda branding is enough to go for this car. That's all I wanted to say about this car, and if you want to buy a car, you can always contact Stallion Honda Lucknow. Thank you.